Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Multiplay's i46 event. Are we having a good time? Right, so lower final at the moment between Leviathan Gaming and Epsilon eSports. 1-0 the score in maps. You missed a 5-0 against Epsilon for the second time in this tournament. Who would have thought that we'd see Epsilon lose not once, but twice 5-0 to the same team, Arx? To the same team. What's that about?
Well, what can we say? LG obviously on fire at the moment, taking down Europe's technically #1.
Yep, so it looks like right now we're going to have an all-American affair in the final. And you know, as I said, I'm going to plug it again. Never underestimate an American with a gun. We're nearly ready to go. So Badlands was the previous map, 1-0 the score. Sorry, 5-0 the score, 1-0 the maps now. And it's going to be Snakewater. Snakewater. Arx predictions, we saw 4-all on this yesterday and are going to Golden Cap. Let's hope we get something the same. I love it. Maybe we can sneak in a cheeky speed round if the game goes our way as well. You don't understand. We do a speed round. If the round drags on, it kills us. It really kills us, and it's him that does the speed. So this is VanillaTV with Arx and Beta bringing you live action. We're nearly ready to rock and roll, Arx. What were you going to say?
Huh?
What were you going to say?
Oh, are we doing a speed round in this game?
Yeah, well, I'm sure we can fit it in. We do the usual hand signals of... That usually
like
does
speed,
the job.
Speed.
Should we go live back to the game because we're nearly ready to rock and roll? For our viewers that have just joined Arx, run us through the lineups if you may.
Okay, so for Leviathan Gaming, we do have Cyzer running Scout, Clockwork also Scout, Beasting in that last game, Tyrone as a soldier, Banny Demo Man, we do have Mackey soldier and Shade as the medic. For Epsilon, Gear as soldier, KnOxXx soldier, F2 will be running medic, Extrema as the demo man, Shocky and Shintaz, the scout pair of Epsilon.
So, Epsilon have to win this map to stay in the competition. Who would have thought, really, honestly, who would have thought we'd be saying this? But I think LG have been underestimated, Arx. Everyone saw those showcase matches we had, and they thought, well, you know, LG... they're not going to be able to beat Epsilon. They're not going to be able to beat TCM, and they're beating them both, and not just a little bit beating both, beating convincingly. And it's just the use of their tactics. We saw Engineer, Spy, Heavy, Crits, Normal Uber. I mean,
they have used every class in this tournament.
Yeah, as I said,
think they're the only team to do that as well. Oh no, wait, I haven't seen them use a pyro. Have we?
No, maybe they're using now. I think it was Sniper and Heavy on last, by the way. It's just insane play by all of the LG team right now. Anyone in particular you're impressed with, Arx?
To be honest, the Scout Clockwork has been amazing so far in this, but Shintaz as well. I mean, he's been almost non-existent in TF2 for the last few months, and he's come into this tournament and he is playing incredibly well. I literally think that the battles between them, I just keep spectating them, the 1v1 scout battles with Shintaz and Clockwork, and it's just amazing to watch. It's over in about a second because they both hit in 110 damage shots or something. But yeah, to be honest, I am impressed with LG in this tournament. I think when we were watching the upper bracket games, we said, okay, LG versus TCM will be close, and then they beat TCM, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, so they beat TCM, but Epsilon will take them, and then they destroyed Epsilon as well, and it's like, okay, well, Mix-Up will take them, and, well, okay, that one happened, but, yeah, well, at the moment, it looks like we could be heading towards an all-American final, and that's not what the crowd here wants. Do we want
a European team in the final? So, we do need a European. Any American fans in the house?
Just Eckstein
with
his hat.
Just Eckstein, I hear you. Just Eckstein sitting in the crowd, so... but yeah, anyone can sort him out. You know what happens to people that stand out in a crowd in England? Okay, we'll show you later. Right, we're about ready to rock and roll again. This is going to be Snakewater. 1-0 the score. LG currently leading the way, showing the Europeans, putting them to shame. Have Mix-Up actually played... no, sorry, of course, Mix-Up did play LG. It was Mix-Up knocked LG to the lower bracket, by the way. So we have had an All-American fair already, and it was Mix-Up that won it. And it was a very slow game. Both teams using heavies and multi-classing a lot. Obviously, that offensive heavy Arx, we're going to see that loads now in Europe. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you will do. It's the funny thing is they kept suiciding in a player to just well, get killed so that they could change to heavy. And I think maybe you'll get a more advanced meta game later where once they've suicided the player, you know he's going to go change to heavy. So take that one player advantage that you've got and just push out onto them before the heavy even arrives. You might see little things like that, but I mean, the strategy is working well for the Americans. And, well, yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so we are live. This is the second map of the lower final between Leviathan Gaming and Epsilon eSports. Snakewater coming up. VanillaTV's Arx and Beta bringing you live action with Arx running you to middle.
Okay, so we do have the demo men making their way to the point. As always, scouts also arriving very, very early. Stickies being exchanged across the midpoint. Let's have a look. The Clockwork, well, scout of Cyzer actually. Oh, he's at Mackey. Is jumping over, takes down Gear, gets shot down by Shintaz, and now the Soldier of Nox up on top of the point. Has a good opportunity to get this medic here. Epsilon looking strong. F2 just backing up his players. There is a scout behind them, though. That's very distracting. Cyzer dealing a lot of damage over onto Shintaz there, but Shintaz does take him down. Aggressive jump from Nox here. He's very low on health, doesn't manage to get it done. Shintaz, however, coming in and killing Clockwork as well. Shintaz also on Banny. It's an Epsilon mid-fight win by the looks of things, and well, that's a response. That is a response.
Wow, Epsilon very lucky there, but doing the job. And F2, I must say again, honestly, I think he secured his place as the best medic in the world. His dodging is fantastic. I just don't know how he does it. He seems to stay alive for so long in those like mid-on one-on-ones. It's just only when he's versus a team of dead he can do nothing. So Epsilon hanging around.
Uber.
Shade has used his Uber. Counter Uber comes in. And it looks like they're going to just try and force them back, in fact, just trying to block them out of the way. A very useful thing to do with the Uber. It just stops them doing anything, really. F2 gets taken down by Mackey. F2 is down, so Epsilon now in a little bit of trouble. Will this prompt LG to move forward? And it has. So LG with their scouts running forward. Only Shocky and Gear left. Wow, this could be interesting. So Epsilon, big trouble. And they need to see how much they can delay them. If they can get a pick on Shade, this will be vital, because right now F2 hasn't even spawned and Shade Uber at 60%.
Gear's in a tough situation here because he probably needs to die early so that he's not just out of this next fight. And is he realistically going to do anything from that position? No, he's not. We do have Shocky falling back, though, so they are going to be one player down, and I think he should have known earlier that he wasn't going to accomplish anything. He did not have the HP to jump out, and unless the medic just walked past him at close range, then it just means they are a player down for this second push. In come LG with this Uber charge now. They are, well, Epsilon not even coming out to contest it. At the moment, Soldier has jumped in. Mackey as well, trying to deal some damage and see if he can get a pick. And he actually dealt a lot of damage over onto the Epsilon players. Many of them in the red on health. Gear gets taken down as well. And Shade with Banny coming in onto this last point with a scout for backup as well. Uber's not yet been popped. Here they come now. Taking down Extremer. That's the Demoman counter Uber from Epsilon has also been popped, and this is forcing LG at least to move backwards because of the Uber disadvantage. But surely they are staying in there. Two scouts of Cyzer and Clockwork going to town. F2 gets taken down. Nox is down. There's only the two scouts in position at the moment. Gear is jumping out as well. Shintaz gets taken down. Mackey down, and we do have one scout over on the point. LG are going to be taking this first round on Snakewater.
1-0. Banny going huge there. Wow, it's actually finished top of the round on the scoreboard for the team there as well. So 1-0 the score. Pretty fast round. It's 4 minutes. Let's just see how the rest of the rounds pan out before we start going faster. So let's follow Banny to middle, just obviously sticking just where they come out of that choke point at the back of the point. Nothing really going on at the moment. Let's just see who's going to be the first Soldier to bomb it in, and it's going to be Mackey who comes in. Airshot onto the Soldier, goes flying, misses the second. So Mackey taken care of, but Nox is so weak, and in fact Shintaz gets taken down as well. So right now all even on that point, and LG looking like they're going to get more time, but now Epsilon coming forward. Oh, he got the bow onto him, and Gear, Shade goes down for LG. So Epsilon looking like they're going to hold him his point. They've got to come back in, Arx. Surely with that medic, Extremer and Nox, they're going to come back in, and they've let LG have the point.
They should have been coming back in. There was only two players alive, but I mean, I guess they're reasonably slow. They're intimidated, perhaps. I mean, it was one scout and a demo man, but let's be honest, it was Clockwork and Banny, and we've seen them deal a load of damage. However, I guess they're more comfortable going in with their full 6 lineup in those kind of 6v6 battles with Uber, and it's more rehearsed, more like Clockwork. And yeah, they will be pushing now with that Uber. They've got to be careful. They really shouldn't need to pop it here. Should just be able to use the fact that they've got that Uber as intimidation as they push in, because if they use that, LG
here comes Mackey on F2, forces that Uber.
Yeah, Mackey forcing that Uber there, jumping across, and actually Epsilon not really getting much time on this point. This could be a little scary because LG could have probably come in just as that Uber was finishing, but they've opted to just take their Uber advantage. And what are Epsilon going to do now? There's a full free Uber almost for LG available to them.
Yeah, Epsilon may regret that decision by not going in earlier. They could have applied the pressure and even locked LG all the way back. But now you see LG are coming out to the point. There's not much they're going to be able to do about it with that Uber. One of the soldiers going up top for Epsilon. He's going to try and jump away. That was Gear. He's down. Torren gets taken down as well. But Banny's getting time on the point. No one's really dealing with it at the moment. And scouts of LG causing all types of problems for Epsilon still. Extremer goes down as well. And finally, Epsilon looking like they want to contest the point. Uber has been popped now. And F2 does manage to get his Uber in time. And LG falling back Arx.
Well, that's it. It almost looked like Shocky was going to be in trouble, but the scout Cyzer does get taken down. Behind them, they have maintained that midpoint. Banny also trying to focus down KnOxXx, who was quite isolated there. Mackey goes down. Banny does get KnOxXx in the end. And, well, Epsilon had one scout who pushed very aggressive. This could, however, mean that Epsilon are going to go 2 players down. No, it does look like
it was Shintaz. It was Shintaz who got some time on the point as an almost distraction. He ran back to mid straight away. Clever thinking. It just forced them back a little bit, like, what's that on the point? ×2, must be a scout. And a couple of them went back. Plenty of time left still remaining. This is 23 minutes remaining. Leviathan Gaming versus Epsilon eSports in the lower final of Multiplay's i46 event, being powered by Mad Cat, sponsoring the Team Fortress 2 tournament, providing the prize money. So shout out to them and shout out to Multiplay for hosting once again. This is VanillaTV's Arx and Beta, bringing you live action. We've been here all weekend. And, well, we're here to stay for the moment. And final coming up after this as well, Arx. And they're running heavy. Mackey's running heavy.
Yeah, Mackey is running that heavy. Just it's an okay position for the heavy. He's got a lot of room to kind of cover from rockets and pipes that are coming in on him. But Epsilon, they really need to make a push. But I guess they're just kind of sizing up their opponents, seeing where they are and seeing, hang on, which way is the best route to come in, because it's unusual strategy. They've got to counter that heavy that probably would normally not be running European TF2 at this time, and they have opted to come through the more direct route, taking down Banny immediately. Shade missing the Uber pass over onto him. However, there is Cyzer and Tyrone still around there. Scouts getting some time on the point. Cyzer is still floating around, though, behind them. Shintaz looked like he had that covered temporarily. But no, in comes Cyzer now, takes down Shocky, and he is going to be getting a recap on this.
Yeah, Shade's still alive, still floating around at the back. Only knocks up for Epsilon at the moment. Shade going to go and rejoin his scout and firing that bow for Hill. So there we go. So LG coming out on top on that, defending their second point there. Epsilon will have another attempt at this. Ubers will be about the same. Just curious to see if we're going to ever see Epsilon start to think about running crits or something out of the ordinary, but they know with the advantage that LG have, they'd probably be an unwise decision, let's say, unwise early at this stage of the game. So Epsilon building as fast as possible, humanly possible on that center point. Soldier using near enough like loads of ammo to build that quickly. So how this game works is that the more damage you take, the more the Uber charge gets healed by that beam.
It's the more healing that the medic does.
Yeah.
Kind of, the more health that increases, let's say.
Yeah. So
but yeah, it works like that, yeah.
We're just waiting for this. Is what we call like a stalemate, really, when this happens. Both teams don't really want to commit to anything without that invincibility beam being ready to be rocked out onto the multiple players, as many as possible. But Epsilon now looking like they want to come forward, but Banny's there at the choke point. You're going to push it back. Was that one of the soldiers isolated there? One of the soldiers got thrown up in the air from Banny. He's going to have to go back for heals. That was, I believe that was Gear. But Arx taking their time about it, though.
Yeah, the thing is that Banny was in a position Epsilon didn't want to Uber that early because they couldn't see where the medic was. Or at least I don't think they could. And if all they know, the medic could be so far back and they'd have 5 seconds of their Uber wasted just to get through the demo man. Cyzer does get taken down by Shintaz. Mackey taking him down though. And Epsilon now pushing forward. Scout has forced the Uber. Shade holding on to his a little longer. Epsilon should... Well, looks like they are hanging around in there, but Extremely gets isolated after a juggling, and Epsilon losing players left, right, and center. Gear goes down. Well, KnOxXx also down. However, we do have still the scout over on the point now. Shocky trying to do what he can, fighting up against Clockwork here. Gets taken down, and I think LG are going to be pushing to mid here.
Yeah, they got 6 players Arx up. Arx even Shintaz and only F2, the remaining players for Epsilon. And look where they are defending all the way at the back here. Tyrone's trying to get to quickly there as possible. So the damage dealers have been rejoined by their medic. Still plenty of time left, 20 minutes remaining, 1-0 the score. So we're not probably going to get a 4 or a 5-4 on this map like we saw earlier, but you never know. Still anything possible. LG 1-0 up still. So if you have just joined us, this is the lower final at Multiplayers i46. The winner of this going through to the grand final later today. And LG, as I said earlier, definitely on the ascendancy.
Right, so they do have their Uber charge. Probably going to be looking to make their way through at the moment. Extreme are just getting that spam on there so that they can't just walk through the choke without using that Uber. And they need to keep that spam up. But here they come. It looks like Shade maybe wants to Uber Tyrone through. Tyrone's trying to peek just to pressure them back again so they can get that extra few meters before they have to pop their Uber. And Uber's been forced from Epsilon. Banny coming in and finishes Extrema as well. And now
Shade hasn't used his, mate. Shade hasn't used his. They didn't use it. So Epsilon now are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. 100% Uber advantage. They probably should get on with this, though, and start pushing so that even once they've used their Uber, Epsilon don't have that big an advantage, and that's what they're doing. Epsilon know that they might not even need to use it here because just the intimidation of them having that Uber has prompted them to sit back, and we do have a soldier coming in to try and force that Uber. Does manage to do so, so great play by KnOxXx. It's what they needed to do. Banny pushing aggressively through the lower entrance just to see if he could do something with that remaining 1 second of Uber. It also means he gets a good view of the opponent's setup on last, just to, well, see where they're at and feel them out. But Epsilon do have that Uber advantage now, and they might try and push out here because they are 1 round down.
Yeah, 1 round down. Cyzer goes down for LG. F2 and his team of soldiers and demomen now moving out with that Uber ready to go. Just watch the back cap, Arx. I will let you watch the back cap to see if anyone goes round behind. Gear gets taken down. Tyrone trying to focus out one of the scouts, but he's just dancing around his rockets. No back cap coming in just yet. Tyrone, if we see what will prompt it is that if there's a block that comes in suddenly like this. No, nothing. But they're going to go for the medic. Tyrone surely going to take care of this scout, but he is being healed by F2. So Shocky taking care of Tyrone. Audience loving that. As we see, Banny rocking up Shintaz and Shocky. He's playing well. Banny's having a great game. Uber's been popped. Uber has been popped by F2. So Banny forced the Uber, and we're going to have an exact replay of that point, which we just saw there, where LG came uncontested almost.
Yeah, that's it. They are making their way in just with a scout and demo man, with the medic, of course. And Epsilon pushing out. They realize they need to do something to force this Uber. It has been forced indeed, but have they lost too many players? Extrema and Gear going down. And I think it's quite lucky that no one is capturing that point yet. Someone needs to go back and capture that, but they are just going for the kills on the Epsilon players. 3 players are down, with 2 of them respawning shortly. The time has come up on that point, and Epsilon still losing players. F2 unable to get to that scout and heal him. And now we have Soldier and Demo versus pretty much the entire LG team. Soldier's going aggressive with Tyrone, trying to get shots on F2. Great rocket on him. Gear also gets taken down, and just Extrema not going to get there.
Whoa, man. 2-0 the score. Banny, and it looks like it was Mackey that came in as well. Banny is having a great game. I mean, I'm thinking like Banny right now, MVP, mate, of the tournament.
3 dominations on him.
Yeah, this is insane. So 2-0 the score, 16.5 minutes remaining. This is the lower final between Leviathan Gaming and Epsilon eSports. And right now, we are definitely looking at an all-American affair in the final later on. Epsilon must win this map to stay in it, Arx. As we see Cyzer take care of Extrema. Scout for Demoman, great trade. F2 goes flying. Shade goes down, so medic put down for LG, but they're staying in the point, Arx. They're quite happy to battle around. See, F2 taken down, so Shintaz could not save him. And Epsilon finally securing the point. Almost, that was actually very briefly a wipe for LG.
Yeah, F2 going for the Uber saw, put him just kind of in a bad position where he did get taken down. I think maybe he could have just done some healing on his team, because that was actually closer than it should have been. Epsilon had a huge advantage. They had the player numbers as well, and it could have worked out a lot better for them. However, they do have that mid, so, well, they'll be pushing towards this 4th point reasonably shortly, building that Uber. LG slight Uber advantage. Not sure if it's going to come into play. LG haven't been the ones who've been really utilizing those small percentages. They take their time to come into a point, assess the enemy team. So I wouldn't be too worried if I was in Epsilon's position.
Yeah, they're taking their time again. Shade's not actually building that fast either, so F2 has caught up a tad. So 2-0 the score. Epsilon must win this Arx, otherwise they may as well just think about going down early to the airport and thinking about their routes home, because they won't be going through to our grand final. It'll be the first time there hasn't been a European team on the stage.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But the first time it's been the 2 American teams up on the stage. But the game is not over yet. Epsilon still have a chance to do this. Still 14 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. They're only 2 rounds behind, and well, they only need 2 to force it to a golden cap by the end of the clock. So Epsilon Uber has been popped. He has tagged up with the scout, just giving him a little booster with the Uber. But the LG scouts fierce. Cyzer chasing aggressively, trying to take down the scout with his medic, and that was not going to be a good fight or situation for him. But LG are coming on strong. They have capped this middle, or just about to. And well, Epsilon they're running out of answers. Yeah, they need to start switching this up now. Maybe we can start seeing some crits or heavy being used, because whatever they're doing is not working. And LG are coming in, Arx. LG are coming in. No team has that Uber, so this is just pure intimidation, falling them off the point, and Epsilon have fallen back. They're not contesting this. They're not contesting it. Quite happy to give it up. I think they only lost like 1 soldier, so is this showing them too much respect or what? Because right now, they're looking like they're leaving the tournament. They need to change this game very, very quickly. And Clockwork coming in now into the point. Mackey gets taken care of. He came bombing in, actually. So will we finally see Epsilon manage to defend this last point? We usually see them defend it so well against European teams, Arx. What is going on? I think it's just a pure gameplay by the LG, Demomad, and the 2 scouts. As well. They're all having a great game, Arx. That's right. I mean, I think Epsilon feel most comfortable when they've got their 6 players alive, Uber, and the enemy team has the same situation. But this LG team, they're just those pick soldiers who keep jumping, and the scouts coming behind, taking down these 1 or 2 players, and then suddenly it's a 4v5 or a 4v4 or something like that.
Hold that 4. Mackey's running sniper, misses the shot on F2. Oh my gosh, if he gets this shot, it's going to be insane. Surely that's been called now. No, well, the soldier and Demon's still coming out. Oh! Wow, close. Man, I don't know how that didn't go. Running around through him. Mackey a little bit frustrated there. But that should have been nice little kill. But LG going right. We don't need to pick. We are not Counter-Strike players. We don't need to sit around and wait for the pick to come in. They're going to come through that front door. Cyzer gets taken down. Banny has KnOxXx up on those rocks. That's a little bit of rhyming for you.
Nice. Well, Epsilon looking to push out. KnOxXx running against them. KnOxXx going very aggressive, just pushing through them at the moment. But LG holding their ground, realizing they had the player advantage. Banny actually sticking off the exit, so they were forced to do that. Extremely gets taken down. Tyrone down. Arrow comes in over onto Shintaz from the medic of Shade, and F2 now death matching against Clockwork. Clockwork weak. We had this battle earlier in the tournament. Shocky comes in, and well, I think F2 would have got him anyway, so...
Here we go, Banny. Banny's jumping in, Arx. He's bombing in onto the scout. Scout's taking load. Scout goes onto the point. Someone's going to have to go down and block it. It's going to be 3-0 the score with 12 minutes remaining.
Right, indeed. Wow, Epsilon behind here. And shall we do a speed round?
Right, ladies and gentlemen, VanillaTV's Arx and Beta. Let's do a cheeky speed round. Arx, take us to middle.
Right, okay, so we do have the demo men coming in over to the point. The stickies are being exchanged very slowly. The scouts have not yet arrived. They are coming in over to the point. We do have one of the scouts up top just trying to find the name. It is Shintaz trying to fight up against Soldier, but the soldier of Mackey has jumped over to aggressive. Gear went flying there. KnOxXx gets taken down. It looks like LG are pushing really, really aggressively here. Scouts are just dominating the team. Epsilon losing 2 players already, but Cyzer and Tyrone have also gone down for them. Epsilon almost a wipe. Extreme are running for his life now. Banny is chasing him. It's going to be a demo on demo, and the soldier has also come to join the party. Mackey coming in, getting some shots on him, but Extreme are doing a good job. Banny coming behind him. I think he was trying to go for the bottle there, but picking up the health, and they are going to be pushing forward.
As we hear the tannoy come on, Banny's just jumping around the point. They're going to secure that train really, really quickly. Sorry about the tannoy. We have no control over the multiplayer tannoy. Epsilon 6 players down there, so that was a wipe for Epsilon that midpoint. This could be all game over. Surely Epsilon's head starting to go down as we try and continue this speed round. Cyzer jumping around the point, nothing really going on. They didn't have the midpoint, Arx. They didn't have the midpoint, so someone went back, and it's allowed Epsilon to come back out and secure it. And as the game slowed down, surely LG needs to speed it back up for us and keep our voices alive.
Right, okay, well, we do have Shintaz on the sniper. He's trying to get a shot over onto Cyzer, I believe, who's on the house dancing around, and there's actually a secret trap there, and Cyzer pushed up very aggressively. It looks like he saw an opportunity to get around the back of them. He's dealing some damage now, and, well, had to fall out. Clockwork's turn now to push up aggressively. He is jumping around up top. The Uber has been triggered from LG, and they are pushing aggressively. Gear gets taken down. Extreme gets taken down, and they will be pushing really fast here. In comes Shocky, trying to do what he can. A nice shot from Shintaz over onto Shade, taking the medic down. Banny's in a bit of trouble as well. Epsilon, can they hold on here? It looks like they can. We've got Soldier jumping to Mackey. Over onto the point, and Shintaz, Shocky getting another kill. Complete wipe for LG as they push out over onto this fourth, well, their second capture point.
Shocky going huge, Arx. Shocky saving that. That would have been 4-0 the score with 10 minutes remaining. So Shocky saving the blushes of Epsilon and keeping him in the tournament. So 1-0 the score. You are with Arx and Beta during our speed round, but LG ready to rock and roll, coming back into that train. They want to get this going and carry on this momentum going forward. Right now, Epsilon not looking like they want to come out and contest Arx. They're going to just let them have it, and Shade's going to have an uber advantage, Arx. So Tyrone coming in, firing those rockets, trying to suppress them back, almost like a Battlefield 3 player. Just if you fire at them, they will run away almost. Clockwork now jumping around as well, and Epsilon must be setting up a really hard defense, Arx, and let's try and keep it going.
Well, here's the thing, though, because you've only got 9 minutes, 14 seconds left on the clock. They are going to have to push out because they need to get 3 rounds at least to set it into a golden cap. But this might be tragic for Epsilon because it looks like they were trying to peek out of the bottom, or at least some of their players were, as LG looks to push in. Shade gets taken down immediately by a jump from Gear, and now we're in a bit of trouble here. We do have a Demomatic Banny is over onto the last point. He's taking a lot of damage and does get taken down. It's nearly another wipe for Epsilon. They are going to be, for LG. And Epsilon going to be pushing out. Soldier looks like he's in a position to try and jump. Does a double rocket jump off of some walls. Clockwork gets taken down. That's the remaining 2 players. Shade has also, well, he's just the one who's respawned at the moment, so they are getting time on this point. Epsilon, can they carry this momentum over towards middle? They have ×5 on the point now. And Scout off Cyzer is just peeking, trying to get a little bit of damage over onto the medic. Banny's also set up a nice little sticky trap through the door, takes down Shintaz as he walks through, and they will be pushing forward now. Gear also going down, 2 players lost. Surely Epsilon can't go for this push anymore, but they are still going for it. Uber has been popped over onto the middle.
Uber has been popped. Shade running away for his life. Still managed to get by. Extrema opting to go for the Soldier. Shade, where's Shade gone? Shade got away. Shade got away. He's finally taken care of. So we had huge cheers about 90 seconds ago. Source TV is 90 seconds behind. So we are still catching up. LG, 5 players down on this midpoint. Extrema rocking them up now. So come on, Epsilon. We need a European team in the final. You must win this map to stay in the competition. So LG setting the defense up, nothing out of the ordinary. F2, 60% Uber. Tyrone just standing in the corner, making my casting very, very entertaining. And just picking up the med pack and picking up the ammo. They're getting the trade. He's just running to midpoint, pulling out the shotgun. Nothing really going on. It looks like everyone's just floating around doing nothing, Arx.
Well, here's the thing. 7 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. They still need to get around on the board. Even with all this exceptional play, they need to get something done. And it does look like Cyzer got taken down. Clockwork and Tyrone also down. 3 players down, Epsilon. They just need to push into the last point already. They have their Uber charge as well. A little hidden sticky trap, but in they come onto this last point. This is surely going to be a round for Epsilon. Their first one so far. Scans on the point. Everyone jumps in. And Epsilon taking the first round. 7 minutes remaining. It is not over yet. Epsilon will need to carry this momentum forward to the next round. 3-1 the score. 7 minutes remaining. That is our speed round over. Blimey, could we have? I don't think we've ever had a speed round so long, by the way. That was good. Good momentum. Thank you. So right now, Epsilon do look like they want to come back into this fight. They do not want to be walking away from this competition without both hands on the cash, all of the cash, that is, unless TLR steals it, of course, but we can talk about that later. So now Extrema coming into the point. Gear goes down. As I still try and carry on the speed from the speed round, it's quite hard. LG looking like they're showing some nerves now. 3 players down. 3 players down, and Mackey's so weak. 4 players down. Epsilon looking like they're coming back into it, Arx. They found their game. They've got some confidence, rallying each other up. They are going to be taking this middle. Shade is still alive, however, on 90%. Uber, and F2 obviously has his Uber, so they will be pushing forward shortly. Well, they have ×2 on the point already. A scout. LG haven't sent any players out. Just have a look. They're actually running a heavy. LG trying to slow the game down, so they're going to be going on the defensive here. And it's a smart thing to do. Only 6 minutes remaining. But
SG
Epsilon,
as well. SG as well. That's full out defense. That's what I said. I said engineer on defense. But yeah, they're trying to slow the game down. But I think this could be a mistake from LG because Epsilon, a very good team at pushing. And what's that SG going to do against a demo like Extrema? Well, we'll have to see. The push will be coming very shortly, and they need to get on with it. Yeah, Epsilon do need to get on with this game now. This is starting to take its toll. They're running out of time. 5.5 minutes remaining, and here they come. Trying to focus out Cyzer. Cyzer's being forced back. Epsilon looking like they want to come in. They've had popped that Uber. Scout comes down onto the point. SG takes care of Shintaz, but LG will have that Uber later. Extremer goes down as well, so LG, Arx, they're holding on. They're still holding on. Will we see something out of the ordinary, extraordinary almost coming in from Epsilon? We don't know, but they do have 3 players down at the moment. I'll let you keep an eye on the back cap while I carry on following Shade and his Banny, the demo man. They've got to retake that train area surely, but right now...
Check it out, Shintaz. Oh, I thought he was going to be running towards that last point, but he is over onto Shade. Gets the kill, over onto Shade. Epsilon with the players alive. Only Mackey alive. Epsilon, well, they've got to deal with 1 SG, but come on, you're professional gamers here. That should be no problem. So up they go. Sticky's coming to do it. 3 players have spawned, but they've surely got the numbers here. Tyro jumping in, Scout over on the points, Engineer and Scout coming to block it. They can do this demo. Banny is still there though, it's very, very close. Banny kills himself with a sticky, so we've just got clear.
Yeah, there we go. Wow, the audience loving this. 3-2 the score, 4 minutes remaining. Epsilon must win this map to stay in the competition. Leviathan Gaming looking like the nerves are starting to take their toll, or is it the jet lag, Arx? Whatever's happened, whatever Epsilon have done, they are coming back into this game, and the crowd are loving it.
Yeah! Indeed, so going on to round 6. Let's see how this one goes. We do have Epsilon on the front foot here with the momentum, and we'll just have to see. We do have a Soldier of Gear jumping. Are LG gonna be rattled by this? It looks like they're playing quite comfortably, but Cyzer does get taken down. Knocks in return. Epsilon playing very, very defensively as the Scout of Clockwork comes to try and fight against Shintaz and Shocky. Shintaz gets taken down, Clockwork as well. It's basically a 3-on-4 at the moment. Epsilon coming out on top, and it looks like LG might be trying to retreat here. They do have their Uber, however, and a lot of the Epsilon players are weak, but they are fooling out the point. And Epsilon are going to be taking this middle. Wow,
Epsilon, it's 3rd round in a row taking that mid. The crowd's still loving it. We are still hearing some cheers. We are casting from the Source TV, so we are 90 seconds delayed, but this is all done in the same game hall. The final, of course, will be live for you. We just don't want any ghosting, really. But TF2 players. Right, so now Epsilon looking like they want to try and win this map. We could be looking at golden cap at this rate, Arx. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Uber has been popped by F2. LG using their Uber as well to the defendant point. Where on earth is Clockwork going? He's going to try and float around the back. Looking like he's focusing down onto Extremer. Getting a massive meat shot onto the Scout. Shocky going down. Shintaz going down as well. F2's in a bit of a dodgy situation. F2 goes down. Streamer LG though. LG are losing players. It's only Gear up, but Gear goes down as well. So that's a wipe for Epsilon.
Yeah, Cyzer's going to be the only one running to middle. But remember, Epsilon are going to be getting these forward spawns. So unless Cyzer can get all of this time on the point, we do have Shintaz spawning with Shocky. We might see 2 Scouts and Medic try to come in and contest this, but we'll just have to see. Banny has set up a sticky trap. Shintaz looks like he wants to go, but because he's seen the demo man. Shocky's also come in, but that sticky trap kills Shocky as he comes into the point. But Epsilon still with the time. They've only 2 minutes remaining, so they are pushing forward, and they really need to, well, get something done here. Banny goes down, Cyzer down as well, so we're just left with the bigger classes for them. Mackey's coming in behind, getting a lot of damage on, but beats the jump, and it's almost the wipe. Only Shade remaining. Shade gets taken down as well. Epsilon, well, they need to cap this middle, so it's going to give LG some time to defend their, well, get set up on their last, but Epsilon gonna get this forward.
Oh, Extremer getting Banny. Unlucky Banny. You were called and you were seen. So right now, LG now setting up the defense again. Mackey is running Engineer. They are not going to bother with this train area. Of course, Shintaz and Shocky both went down. They've got that train point. The crowd still loving every moment of this. 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining for Epsilon. They're using that Uber. Need to get that heavy out. They need to get that heavy out of the point, which they are. Heavy manages to swap. Will he come back out? It's heavy. Time on point. Time on point. They're going to have to come back out. Epsilon all over the shop here, and they're going down. The players losing, coming down all over the shop. Shocky, you must get the point. You must come back in. It's only Shocky left for Epsilon, Arx.
That's it. There's 51 seconds remaining. They're going to get one more shot at this to bring it to a golden cap. So we'll just have to see if they can accomplish anything with it. No one is pushing out for LG. They are going for a full-on turtle on this last point. Shocky falling back just to regroup with their team, but they're going to have to make a push very quickly because LG are going to have their Uber and Epsilon are not. This is not looking great for Epsilon, but just one time they need to get on the point and well, let's see if they can do this.
Here we go. Extreme's coming in. This is going to be it. It's all or nothing now for Epsilon. You must get this point to take us to Golden Cap. Extreme LG have used that Uber. F2 went down. Nox went down. Shintaz and Extreme down. This could be game over. Shocky goes down as well. Gear at 40%. Round of applause. Epsilon look like they're leading the tournament. Final score, Leviathan Gaming 3-2 winners over Epsilon eSports on Snakewater. This has been VanillaTV's Arx and Beta, bringing you live action. So there we have it. It will be an all-American affair for the grand final. Leviathan Gaming coming 2-0 on the mats. The grand final coming at 5 PM GMT. That's midday for you, our friends on the East Coast. And well, what a performance. Stay around. I will be doing the charity raffle draw after this. Let's have some words from our sponsors while I get a drink.